Hey everybody, Happy New Year and welcome to my toy room tour for the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. So I'm going to try to do some different stuff here with the channel for the new year. Try to up the quality of the videos a little bit, and we'll just see how it goes. So I'm planning on posting videos at least once a week, hopefully on Sundays. And again, we'll just kind of see how things go. And I just wanted to do things a little bit differently, and hopefully you'll all enjoy some of the changes to the channel. For those of you who have been with me for a while, I really appreciate it. And anyone who is a new subscriber, or if you're just seeing my videos for the first time, feel free to check out any of my old videos. I do a lot of toy reviews. I do some action figure customs. And as you're going to see in this toy room tour video, I mostly specialize in collecting Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, DC comic figures, some Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, a little bit of Marvel, and a little bit of Star Wars. But you're about to see all of it in this toy room tour video. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the tour, and we'll go from there. So we're starting off in my Ninja Turtle room. I actually call this my turtle lair. And I have all of my Ninja Turtle stuff as well as my pet turtle in one room. So you just saw all of my 2012 figures that are mint on card. And then I've got some Loot Crate figures and other NECA stuff, mint in box. I have an original Splinter, other Splinter stuff on my little Splinter wall. You've got Super 7, Good Guys and Bad Guys. So you can see all of them. And then my NECA Good Guys. So you can see those. These are cartoon, of course, except for the Casey Jones, but I put him in there anyway. Here's the NECA Bad Guys from the cartoon, as well as just my NECA other figures. And then we've got the NECA Monsters and the Archie and Mirage comics. And then we've got my Raphael stuff. Raphael's my favorite turtle, if you didn't know that already. So I have a lot of just Raphael figures. So you can see all those, just a mix of all kinds of different toy lines, a couple figures mint on card. That's all my Raphael stuff. Big fan of Ninja Turtles and Raphael. So up here we have some vehicles. Most of these are vintage vehicles. And then of course that's the re-release of the van. Then we have just miscellaneous figures, Best Action, Playmates, 8-inch figures. And then pride of my collection, my vintage figures. So a lot of these have their accessories, weapons. These are all the good guys, or at least who I consider good guys. And then here's all the bad guys. Again, these are all original vintage figures that I've collected over the years. And then this is just kind of my overflow miscellaneous figures. We've got some vintage figures. We got Super 7 reaction figures. And then this is my movie shelf. I don't have the Secret of the Ooze turtles there yet, but you'll see them in the video in a minute here. This is just miscellaneous turtle stuff. This is the Power Rangers crossover with turtles. Here's some Funko Pops with turtles. And then on the wall here, I have mint on card, mint in package turtle figures. So there you go. You can see those. And then I've got some vintage figures, mint on card here, Ray Fillet and April O'Neil. So there you go. And then there is a very old Ninja Turtles beach towel and my pet turtle. So yes, I have a pet turtle. There she is, and she's hanging out in the turtle room with all the Ninja Turtle stuff. So there you go. And another shot here of just all the turtle figures in my collection. So there you go. That is the turtle layer. All right, so then next, or at least I thought it would be next. Let me hit this. There we go. So then we've got the Power Ranger collection. So like Ninja Turtles, I'm a big fan of the Power Rangers franchise. As a little kid, probably started out collecting Thundercats and Superpowers, which you'll see them soon. But then I really got into Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was kind of my life for 5 years. And then I got into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was really into it. And then I kind of fell off when it, switched over to Zeo. And then, during college, I got rid of all my stuff, sold off my whole entire collection. And then I've been building it back up for, probably the last 15, 18 years or so. So what you're about to see is all of my Power Ranger stuff, Lightning collection, some vintage stuff, and just other random toys that have been produced by, Bandai. So here we go. So the top shelf is just kind of all my overflow for my larger Zords and other figures. Then we've got all my Lightning collection stuff, bad guys and good guys. So you can see my Lightning Collection Rangers. I have a bunch of videos on my Dino Charge custom figures if you want to check those videos out. I've done a lot of work building up the Dino Charge team. My Legacy Zords, my Vintage Zords, love Dragon Zord, definitely my favorite Zord. And then all of my Dino Charge stuff from the original releases. Then we've got my Lord Zed and Goldar shelf. Up above here is all my mint on card figures from Power Rangers, some DC stuff thrown in there as well. So yeah, just here's my kind of overflow of Lightning collection. Here's my Q Ranger stuff from Bandai Japan, and my Legacy figures that are basically 7-inch scale action figures. Then we've got my Green Ranger shelf up here. Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger, so I have a shelf dedicated to him. And then this is all just miscellaneous stuff. This is Dino Fury basic figures, and then Dino Fury Bandai Japan stuff on this shelf. So I really like Dino Fury as well. Dino Charge, Dino Fury are two of my favorite seasons. Then we've got vintage bad guys, the big ones and the little ones. And then we've got my random Mighty Morphin shelf and my In Space shelf. I had to add that In Space shelf because of the Zap Astro Megazord that's coming up. Here is my custom Command Center diorama with the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, as well as my custom Civilian Ranger figures. So feel free to check out my video on how I made those custom Civilian Ranger figures. Then we've got the 6 Rangers that are all in box. And then we have my Lord Zed throne room with the monsters, the Tengas, and then, Zed, Rita, Goldar, the Putties, all those guys. So yeah, so I spent a lot of time over a summer building that diorama to have more room to put my figures. Then we have my 3-0 Armored Red Ranger and Green Ranger box, as well as some other figures in box. And there you go. That is my Power Ranger collection as it is now at the very beginning of 2023. So we'll see what 2023 brings. I know there's a lot of Lightning collection figures on deck, but I don't know how many I'm going to really need. I really just want to complete Dino Thunder and Dino Charge and Time Force. And, I do really want the Zap Astro Megazord because I think it looks really cool. I skipped the other Zap Megazords because I just didn't feel like I needed them, since I have the Legacy and most of the vintage Zords from Mighty Morphin. All right, so then next, just a really quick video with my little kind of corner near my kitchen of my Green Ranger stuff. So this is the 3-0 Green Ranger, the Legacy Dragon Dagger, the vintage Green Ranger figure, and the Super 7 Reaction Dragon Zord. So this is just a little corner between my living room and my kitchen where I can have my special Green Ranger stuff kind of on display, which I really like, of course, because like I said, Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger. So here are my Legacy and Lightning Collection helmets. So you saw the Green Ranger helmet earlier on the Green Ranger shelf. And I also have the Red Ranger, the White Ranger, and the Lord Zed helmet, as well as the Legacy Power Sword and the Legacy Saba and the Zeo Golden Power Staff. So I just kind of have these displayed in the living room because there's just nowhere else for them to go. So that's where they are. So now we get into the biggest part of my toy room and my toy collection, which is my DC Universe Classics, DC Direct, DC Multiverse, basically my DC Comics action figures. And I have quite a big collection of DC figures, as you're going to see here. Definitely just a favorite part of my collection. I'm a huge fan of Superman. There's my Superman shelf, speaking of, and then just a huge fan of the Justice League, Justice Society, Teen Titans. And most of these are DC Universe Classics figures. Some of them are customs. I have a lot of customs on, this is my miscellaneous shelf here. So there's a lot of customs on there. And then the NECA Mandrake the Magician works perfectly for Zatanna's father. So I did that. There's villains, there's Teen Titans. I recently added that Robin to the collection. I was very happy about that. We've got the Legion of Doom. We've got the New Gods. We've got my kind of miscellaneous possible futures, including Kingdom Come. We've got the Zack Snyder movieverse. We've got the TV universe, the Young Justice cartoon, which I have a custom Superboy there, and then the Ed McGuinness artwork of the Justice League, which was put out by DC Direct. Then a lot of this is just random stuff that I've kind of put out, my little Doomsday shelf, my different versions of the Crime Syndicate, and then the Starro Build-A-Figure from McFarlane Toys with the smaller little figures. Here's some random in-package DC stuff. Here's my Martian Manhunter shelf. Martian Manhunter is probably my second or third favorite DC character. Here is my McFarlane DC Multiverse. A lot of those are customs. My Black Lantern shelf, or my, Green Lantern Blackest Night shelf, however you want to put it there. And then my DC Icons figures and my random DC Direct figures. More DC stuff here. We've got the Imaginext figures, more McFarlane DC Multiverse. These are all the bad guys that I have. My Batman shelf for McFarlane, and then my random miscellaneous shelf. Got a couple customs on there as well. And then my Batman stuff. So lots and lots of DC. Here's all my mint on card DC, which takes up an entire wall in the toy room. So lots of mint on card DC Direct, DC Universe Classics, and McFarlane figures, as well as some Toy Biz Kenner. Here's some statues, and I'm really getting into the Funko Pop soda figurines. I think they're pretty cool. And then we've got my Total Justice figures, my superpowers from McFarlane. Here's my McFarlane superpowers, my mint on card, Darkseid and Orion. And then my vintage collection of superpowers. There they are. Of course, I'm always looking to add more superpowers figures if they're affordable and in good shape. And then the little statues are there. So there you go. That is my very large DC Universe collection. And then we've got more DC stuff. This is all my Superman stuff, basically. So I have my Superman stuff kind of on the other side of the room, just because it does take up quite a lot of room. As you can see, I have a lot of Superman stuff. Superman is my favorite character of all time. and I have built up quite a collection of Superman figures and statues and just lots and lots of stuff here. I love all this stuff so much. Big fan of just, classic Superman stuff. So here's all kinds of loose figures, big fan of crypto. There's my Superman Nutcracker, just all kinds of Superman merchandise here. Love it. And then I have the Batwing from the Batman animated series. I would love to hang this up somehow, but it's so heavy and pointy, I would worry about it falling and breaking. But yeah, there you go. There's all my Superman stuff. All right. So next is going to be kind of my other things that are not Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, or DC. So we're going to have my Marvel collection, Thundercats, and Masters of the Universe. So they're all kind of on one side of the toy room. And space is getting to be quite tight. So here's my Magneto shelf. Magneto is my favorite Marvel character, so I have a little shelf of just Magneto stuff. Then I've got the little 3 1/4 inch figures. That's my miscellaneous Marvel figures, just figures that I don't have anywhere to really put, so they're just on that shelf. Then we've got my X-Men shelf, good guys and bad guys from X-Men, just added Toad, and just added the new Cyclops figure, which I think looks fantastic. It's a really, really great figure. Then we've got my Marvel bad guys. So all the villains are here. I got my favorite ones up front, of course. Then we got the Marvel good guys. And these look great. Love all the bright colors. Then we've got the Spider-Man villains. So these are all the Spider-Man villains. Lizard and Scorpion are new, of course. And then these are more randoms, mostly MCU. I had to put Iron Spider up there because I don't have any room for him anywhere else. So that's just kind of miscellaneous and MCU stuff. Then I've got some mint on card Marvel figures as well. And of course, Lizard was very close to my top 10. If you want to check out my top 10 video from about a week ago. Here's my Thundercat stuff. So some Super 7 Thundercats on card. I think this was Sideshow, it may have been NECA, I can't remember now. And then just, a bunch of other Thundercats stuff. Got Thundercats mini mates. And then here's my Super 7 Thundercats figures. You can watch some videos about those. I did some customizing to the Tigra figure. I think the Bengali figure came out amazingly. And of course, I threw that vintage Snarf up there because I really don't want to pay full price for a Super 7 Snarf. Here's all the bad guys, which look amazing. The mutants came out fantastic. And then just my random shelf of vintage figures and Loyal Subjects figures and all that. So a small but mighty Thundercats collection. And we'll see what 2023 brings when it comes to the Thundercats. Then we get to MOTU, Master of the Universe, He-Man characters. So I have a bunch of Origins figures on card. These are all my Masterverse figures, which mostly are bad guys. I really like the Masterverse line, but I, of course, pick and choose. Here's what I have from the Masters of the Universe Classics. I don't have a lot. Again, mostly villains. I really like the bad guys more from the He-Man characters. And then I've got some of the beasts, the rideable beasts. And then I've got some other random stuff as well as my Masters of the Universe Origins figures. I've got some vintage figures down there in the lower left corner. But here are all my Origins figures. Love the Roton and the Land Shark. And then, of course, we have the Origins Castle Grayskull, more Origins figures. I've got some DC figures there in the background because, space. And then I've got some stuff mint on card as well for Masters of the Universe. So this collection was much smaller a year ago. I've really, really gotten into Masters of the Universe. And I'm going to back up here to kind of see the whole entire wall. So that's the whole wall of kind of others in a way, Marvel, Thundercats, Masters of the Universe. But I've really, really gotten more into Masters of the Universe. I wasn't a huge, He-Man fan as a little kid. I mostly played with the He-Man toys as being kind of part of the Thundercats universe, which is why I really wanted to reorganize the toy room and get the Thundercats and the Masters of the Universe stuff together. So I really just think this looks great. And a lot of Masters of the Universe coming in 2023. Hopefully at the end of 2023, we're going to get that Origins Snake Mountain. And I am planning on putting it right next to Castle Grayskull, but where I'm going to put all of these figures, I really don't know. So definitely going to have to do some kind of reorganizing here. May need to get a larger bookshelf for that corner and then move those figures off the wall. We're going to see. All right, so the next is, this is really a miscellaneous bookshelf. So this is the bookshelf that is in the corner of my living room because I had to move these things out of the main toy room because needing more space for Masters of the Universe stuff. So these are all just random figures. We've got like a bunch of Wolfman stuff. We got some video game Mario Brothers stuff. We've got some Mortal Kombat McFarlane figures, G.I. Joe Classified, as well as some Kit Bash and customized figures. It's like my horror shelf, my one little tiny horror shelf. This is just a random assortment of things that I've collected over the years. And then we've got my dinosaurs and my Beast Wars Transformers figures. So, like I said, just totally random. Feel free to kind of pause and look at some of these things. Of course, I love the G.I. Joe Timber. That was in my top 10 last year. Yeah, so just some fun random figures that needed to find a space and just kind of put them on a shelf in the living room. And then speaking of my living room, if you have watched any of my videos from the past year and a half or so, you may remember that I have mentioned the shelf that is behind my couch that is reserved for my newest, figures. So like the figures that I've gotten in the most recently, or some of my favorite figures. This is that shelf. So this is, again, the shelf behind my couch, just in my, front living room where my front door is. And this is where some of my favorite figures go, or some of my just most recent pickups. So you can see we've got some vintage and Origins Masters of the Universe. We've got Super 7 Krang, Best Action Krang. Here are my Secret of the Ooze turtles that I just got on, I think the day before Christmas Eve. Got some Boglins hanging out on the couch. Those are fun. We've got Fiona's. We've got the Inferno. We've got my Plunderlings. Plunderlings are probably going to stay on this shelf. And then we've got my Wolfman, which is the top figure of the year for me this year. And the cell-shaded Spider-Man that I put the Tom Holland head on. So that's just like my most recent pickups. Sorry about all the junk in the background. All right, then we get to my Star Wars collection. Just a couple weeks ago, I had to move all of my Star Wars stuff out of the main toy room, again, because of lack of space for my upcoming Power Ranger things. So the one corner of my toy room where I have the in-space Power Rangers, that used to be where my Star Wars stuff was, but I had to move it all out, and the only place for the Star Wars collection to go is in the bedroom. So yes, a corner of my bedroom has now been taken over by toys. So here's all my Star Wars mint on card. I've got some other random vehicles and other things on that top shelf, then my Darth Vader shelf, and my troopers. We'll get a little closer look here at the troopers and the Darth Vader shelf. I just love how the troopers look all together like this, just various random troopers. So here's all my Darth Vader figures and other things, Darth Vader pins, keychains, etc. And then another look at all the troopers here. They look fantastic. I love all the colors, the white with then the splashes of blue and red. And then we've got my prequels shelf. So these are all kind of the prequels, as well as just some other kind of random stuff. And then original movie shelf. So all characters from the original trilogy. And then my random shelf. So got some vintage collection figures, some Mandalorian figures, just random other Star Wars figures that don't really fit on any of these other shelves. So I definitely got room for more Star Wars stuff. I don't know how much more I'm going to be adding, probably just a few troopers here and there. But we'll see. I love Star Wars. I love the story. I love the mythology behind it, but it's just not a huge part of my toy collection. And then finally, just my wall of Funko Pops. I've got Funko Pops in the bedroom as well. And I really just mostly collect the characters that I really, really love. So Superman, some other DC characters. I have Magneto, of course. I have some Power Rangers. I mostly try to stick to classic DC when it comes to the Funko Pops. But, of course, there's going to be other stuff as well here. So yeah, so that's all of my Funko Pops in the bedroom. Not a whole heck of a lot, but probably too many, more than I really need. So yeah, that is my toy collection. So I hope that you enjoyed my toy room tour for the beginning of 2023. So we'll see how much my collection changes over the next year. And please feel free to like the video, leave a comment. I'd really like to know what everybody thinks of this newer format. So if you've been a subscriber for a while and, if you liked me doing the videos this way instead of how I, used to do all my videos, please let me know what you think. And if you're new, if you would subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it because I am going to try to build up my channel more in 2023 and just try to reach more people and make more connections in the toy community. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good one.